Weaver. Good evening.
Mr. Noel, met you last night. I had a lot of questions for you and you booked on me.
All right. Hey, Max.
Mayor Bookmeyer, how you doing?
Let's focus tonight.
How you doing? I'm going to stray a little bit here. I know I got 5 minutes.
There you are.
John, your answer to your question is that the problem with the meatpacking plant in the United States is that the turnover. 30% of the turnover a year is big in all the plants. You know, those figures are out there. You got to do your research. I can tell you haven't really gone Googling. But anyway, what happens is they come here for those 12, 13, 14, hey, Mayor, please, 12, 13, $14 an hour jobs, which won't buy a home in Mesa City if the values are going up, by the way, John. So what happens is they get stuck here. Just like the young men that came here to play football at Nyack, they didn't get Division I or Division II scholarships, so they stayed. Their grandmas wanted them to stay here, and you know the trouble that followed. To your question, you're going to be about $5 million short in a 20-year buyout on this thing, whether you go revenue or general obligation bonds. Don't forget, I sat up there for 12 years and in the back of the room for 15, so I know the mumbo jumbo. Bill, I appreciate you didn't give your personal opinion. You would have been fired. But anyway, I want to start with this. The big word tonight is transparency. It's not happening here. Here's a comment on March 14th that woke me up. I haven't been up here at this microphone for 4.5 years out of pure respect for our city that I love and the elected officials. I've stayed away. You got elected, let's see what you can do. I'm not impressed. I bit my tongue over that 4 years. Here's a comment by Chamber of Commerce Executive Robin Anderson that woke me up. And your comment really woke me up, I believe. Thankfully, a qualified team consisting of our friends and neighbors has been doing research related to the anticipated concerns with due diligence. Jeez. They feel a heavy weight of responsibility to make sure the Mesa City has the capacity to host its business to ensure any and all issues are addressed. Remember, they live here too. She goes on to say, they found out that the local project team has held extensive discussions with counterparts from communities and similarly designed plants, and all indicate odor is not an issue with high-tech processing plants. Who admits odor and is going to admit it? You know when you let gas at home, you're all in denial, for God's sakes. So here's the biggest thing that came then 1 week later from you. Ron Prestige, and you owe us an apology, or tell us where you heard it eventually. Even though these plants are a lot different than older ones, I would be a complete idiot if I were to told you there's not going to be any odor associated with this large congregation of pigs. Now here's what you said that really set me off. But I don't believe it'll be perceived as a problem in Mason City. Ron Prestige said, Des Moines Register, March 22nd. Who told you it wouldn't be perceived as a problem? This room here is 60-40 right now. 60% are against it, and that's what's happened here now. Our city's going to be forever divided. That's the right stuff. And I appreciate what you do. You want to know how much I appreciate it? I love my bacon. I do understand it. We're just not built for this around here right now. We've been there and done that. Back to Robin Anderson. Where's the report? Who are my friends and neighbors that did the study, Brent? You know them? I don't think you do. It says right here, friends and neighbors did a study. I want to see the report. I want to see the transparency. What did they find out? Who did they talk to? It's not here. It's not anywhere. She goes on to say it will be released later. Well, it's later. It's moving on. You know, I want to really thank you also that I have 15 minutes tonight and 2 other meetings to defend my 65 years in Mesa City where I've made my home. It really is not fair. I want to go on to say that one of you said there's going to be a big boon in the community. That's not true at all. You do your research again, go Googling, you're going to find out Ottumwa, Storm Lake, Austin, Worthington, Marshalltown are the closest meatpacking plants around us, similar in size. They have gone in the tanks. Austin, Minnesota, for example's population is 24,000. 1950, it's still 24,000. Scab City up there, they've had huge problems and the division still exists today. Ottumwa, Iowa has 10,000 less people than they did when they opened up their plant. So there's no growth here. No Fortune 100, Fortune 500 company will come to Mason City. It just won't happen. You won't see it. They don't do it. They don't send. They don't want to come. Their executives don't want to live where a community in North Iowa has been carpeted bombed with pig stench. Mr. Noel, last night you said just unequivocally that you would not recommend, your company would not want to put a confinement building, hog farm, factory farm, within the watershed of Clear Lake. No way. That would be a bad idea. You would not do it. You would recommend against it. You know, think about what you just said. What about my watershed? What about their watershed? What about that watershed? My dog likes to swim and fin and feather. What's going to happen to that? I mean, seriously, think about what you said. We won't hurt them, but the rest of you, watch out. It's just not right. And Phil Choder, I want to say this. You can't have it both ways, Mayor. You can't have River City Renaissance uptown here with Phil Choder from G8 Development in San Diego to invest $10 million in a town that's going to have 3 million pigs a year down here in stench and an odor. I don't think you've talked to him. I'm going to make sure he understands this. You're not going to be able to have one. You're not going to be able to continue the good growth of Mesa City. and what's up here. I want to finish with a personal note to you, Mayor. You came to me when I was at the front of that room and you were in the back of the room. You took me in, you brought me down, you talked with a bunch of people, the white shirts, you begged me, you pleaded with me, you asked me to support Vision Iowa. You asked me to be there for you and those people that wanted it. You begged. You preached to me. I gave you all the time you wanted. That's correct, too. Now, with what's said, I want to finish up.
Mr. Weaver.
With what's said,
now
I'm pleading with you.
With our folks.
What's that?
We conclude even our folks. Thank you.
No, you don't.
Mr. Weaver.
You made a motion to extend their time.
Mr. Weaver, thank you.
Let him talk.
Let him talk.
This is not important enough. That's okay, Eric. Sit down. Good boy. Sit down.
We gave those guys extra time.